Welcome everybody to this video presentation of mine on the two beasts of Revelation. These are the sea beast and the land beast, and these are most important because if we can understand what these represent, then everything else there, the dragon, the beast from the scarlet beast, and the woman riding that beast, everything will come together. So just follow along with me here and let's see what we can see. Yeah, I think these two beasts join up at the end in Revelation 17 with the woman riding the scarlet beast. And if you follow through, you see the dragon and the sea beast and the land beast. And then you have what appears to be the sea beast again in the scarlet beast. But where's the land beast? And I think that's the woman, and I'll show you why. So these are just the beast from the sea and the beast from the land. But if you notice here, this beast from the sea has 10 horns on its head, not 10 horns on the 7 heads, but 10 horns on one head. And this is the 6th head. I'll show you why. Whereas the land beast, it is a head as well, but it's got 2 horns, not 10. So this one, every time you see a head with 10 horns on, it's Rome. How do we know that? Because in Daniel chapter 7, the 4th beast, which is Rome, has 10 horns on its head. And you'll see that is the dragon. And so the beast from the sea is just a follow-up from that, because it too has 10 horns on its head. But this land beast, it's not Rome. So it's got to be something different because it has 2 horns. And it looks like a lamb, but it speaks like a dragon. So let's look here in Daniel chapter 2. We have this image, and then it's coincided with the lion of Babylon, the bear of Medo-Persia, and the leopard of Greece, and then the legs of iron of Rome. And then we have the feet here, and this person has thought America, and I think that's possibly true. And but this isn't the United Nations. This should be the European Union, and I'll show you why. This is just the scarlet beast, and with 10 horns. Once again, it has 10 horns on its head. So let's look at these. Now the dragon, interestingly enough, passes its baton on to the sea beast. And lo and behold, this dragon, it has 10 horns on its head as well. And so does the sea beast, 10 horns on its head. As I said, we know from Daniel chapter 7 that the 4th beast is Rome. And the 4th beast, he doesn't name it. It's just a horrible beast. So it's got to be the dragon. And that's just imperial Rome. And if you look in the legs of iron, that's just what it is. Imperial Rome is the first leg. And this other leg, the beast from the sea, I think is papal Rome. Why? Because the dragon gives his power, you see, to the sea beast. And that's what exactly happened. When Constantine left Rome and he gave his seat to the popes. That's the beginning of the papacy and the beginning of the Holy Roman Empire. And both of these, they lasted almost 1,000 years each. So that's what we're looking at. These are both iron, so they're both Rome. And they both have 10 horns on their heads. So we see Revelation 13, I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up from the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Upon its 10 horns, 10 crowns. Upon its head, the name of blasphemy. So here we have it once again. There's the head, and there's the 10 horns on it. And that's the sea beast. But look at the dragon. He has the same thing. Same head. It's still Rome, and 10 horns on it. That's how you can tell. Both these are Rome. And one's Papal Rome, or the Holy Roman Empire, and the other is Imperial Rome. So the dragon gives the sea beast its throne and authority. And the beast which I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were like those of a bear, and the mouth like the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, his throne, and his great authority. And I showed this here. It's just these are the 2 legs of Rome. And, you know, this is Imperial Rome and Papal Rome. Now this is important because otherwise we cannot identify the beast from the land. And see, the sea beast has this deadly wound on one of its heads. And so, you know, and I saw one of its heads as it were wounded to death. And his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. The first thing is which head is wounded? And the answer is pretty simple because, you know, John says 5 had fallen, 1 is, that's the 6th head, and the other is not yet come, and that would be the 7th. So I believe it's the 6th head that's wounded, and I'll just show you why. Because if we look at these 2 legs of iron, right, you know, John says 5 have fallen and 1 is. So that was the Holy Rome, or that's the Imperial Empire, Roman Empire. So that's the 6th head. Now, Rome fell, but the head stays the same, you see. It doesn't now become a 7th. And this is where a lot of people make a big mistake. When the little horn comes up, and, you know, it continues on to being this Papal Rome is still the 6th head. And why would it change? It's still Rome, and it's still iron. So it's going to be the same head. But in 1804, Napoleon defeated the Holy Roman Empire. He also, in 1798, kicked out the Pope, and that Pope died in exile. And so this is what the deadly wound. It's not the deadly wound of one of the kings of the Holy Roman Empire, but it's one of the heads of the sea beast. And as I said, the sea beast is the papacy. So it's got to be one of his heads. And that's what it was. One of the popes died. And so that's the deadly wound. And so that puts the end to the legs of iron. But we know what happens to that. So right at this time, which was 1798, that's when that's when he was kicked out. So that's the deadly wound, and that's the 6th head. Then comes up the beast from the land, and that's America. In 1798, America is recognized by France as a new nation, and that is the 7th head. See, it's a different head. It's the land. It's like a lamb, and it has 2 horns on it. So it's got to be a different head than the 6th. And then what happens in 1814? Napoleon resigns, and a new pope. The one that died was Pope Pius VI, I believe, and then a new pope. Oh no, he was Pope Pius V, and so up comes Pope Pius VI, and so this is it was healed, and so we get the 8th. He's of the sixth of the seven, because he's the sixth, but he's also an eighth. So the reason he's the eighth is because the seventh is coming up in between them. So I think these feet represent this in Daniel's image, Revelation 17, the woman riding the beast. And I'll show you. He says, and whereas thou saw the feet and the toes, part of iron, part of clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. And so here, I think this is just these two beasts, the sea beast and the land beast joining up. And what are they? It becomes the scarlet beast. This is the iron. That's the scarlet beast. And the clay is just the land. And so that's the land beast. Yeah, sea beast and the land beast. And so these two join up in Revelation 17, and that is the woman, Babylon, riding the scarlet beast. And that's really what this whole thing is about. How to understand Daniel's image. And we're looking at it from the wrong way here. So the beast from the earth, the land beast, comes up after the sea beast, right? So as I said, that sea beast ends around 1799. Actually 1798, when it has the deadly wound. And that's when America comes up. So after it has the deadly wound, after the sea beast ends, up comes the land beast. And that's America. It comes up right at that time. And that's when it was recognized as a nation. And so I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and it had two horns like a lamb. And but it spake like a dragon. And if you look at, it's like a lamb, but it's a wolf, really, in sheep's clothing, I believe. And because, see, this dragon is like Satan, and so is the wolf. So at the beginning, it's like a lamb, outwardly, but in the end, it's a dragon. It speaks like a dragon, because that's what it is inside. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And we see this in John 10:12. He who has a hired hand, and not the shepherd, who is not the owner of the sheep, sees the wolf coming. And it's talking about Israel. And leaves the sheep and flees, and the wolf snatches them and scatters them. See? Babylon scatters just like they did before. Babylon. They're one of the nations that will scatter Israel. The four horns that scattered Judah, Jerusalem, and Israel. And so I think this is just, the wolf is a symbol of Satan. And we said that at the end, the land beast speaks like a dragon. So in the end, it's like he's Satan controlled. So here's this bridge between the U.S. and the EU, and I just think USA and the EU, and this is what we're going to be seeing joining up together. For instance, at that climate conference, who are the big spokesmen for throwing everything we got, making all these promises concerning climate and COVID? Well, it was Biden and the leader, that woman from the EU. And so they really, they're just, I think they're working for the beast. I think that's the Pope, and both of them. They're both following, getting orders from him. So America riding Europe, scarlet beast. That's what I think. And I know a lot of people think that the woman here is the Roman Catholic Church. And it fits, because this woman Babylon, and the problem with that is, why isn't the woman riding, the beast, the sea beast? It's riding the scarlet beast. And so when, during the Reformation, that was the time when they were sure that the Roman Catholic Church fit the harlot Babylon. And I'm not saying there's not some comparison. She is in some way Babylon. But we're not looking at Babylon here. We're looking at the daughter of Babylon. And that's what America is. Now here's a really interesting psalm. We have two things going on here. And this would show you it. This psalm is about Israel being taken over by the Babylonians and taken captive. And then the psalm at the end, said, how can we sing one of the songs of Zion when we are in a foreign land? And then they say, remember, O Lord, against the sons of Edom on the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it to its very foundation. Now, Edom, which you probably know in Hebrew, means red. And it's just the scarlet beast. And her sons, those are the 10 kings. So here we have this one, and then we have, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. And so here we have in Edom, this is the beast, the scarlet beast, which the woman rides. And O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. How do we know that? Revelation, 18 says it. In 1 hour, so greater riches come to naught. This isn't the Roman Catholic Church, because it is not a wealthy nation where all the merchants would weep and wail, you see. So it is the daughter of Babylon who's riding it. But yeah, it is like Babylon, but America has come out of Babylon, and there's no doubt about that, out of Rome, and but she's she's the land, the beast coming out of the land. And here we have them merging, and this is like the feet in the image of Daniel, partly iron, partly clay. Here's the iron part, and here's the clay. And at the end, they're going to come together. So pretty interesting stuff. And look what's going on in the news. They're already come together. And we'll have to watch and see. But this is the group, the pair that are responsible for the fall of Israel. And that's why God will destroy both Babylon through other nations, and in the end, Edom. Read, Isaiah 34 and Isaiah 63, what God's going to do to Edom. He's going to trample them underfoot on his holy mountains. Okay, so I'll let you go on that one, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and God bless.